Welcome back to Primary Source Code for part 2 of Mother's Month, my month-long look at the Mother series. This week we're checking out Mother 2, also known as Earthbound. Earthbound is the most well-known of the Mother series outside of Japan, in no small part because it's the only one of the three to receive an official Western release. It came out in September 1995 for the Super NES. A predecessor to modern special edition versions of the games, Earthbound came in an oversized game box containing a player's guide and a set of scratch and sniff stickers. How many games do you know have proudly declared this game stinks on the packaging? In terms of basic setting and gameplay elements, Earthbound follows the same formula of its 8-bit predecessor. It also has its own unique, quirky story, written again by Shigesato Itoi. Set once again in a comically skewed version of 1990s Americana, Earthbound follows the adventures of Ness, a psychic-powered young boy who, following a visit from a talking bee sent from the future, leaves his small-town suburban home to battle the forces of Gigas, a cosmic Lovecraftian-esque entity bent on consuming the world, and Pokey Minch, Ness's overweight, selfish next-door neighbor. Along the way, Ness teams up with three friends: the psychic powerhouse Paula, the crafty inventor Jeff, who battles using inventions he designs from broken machines, and Pooh, the martial arts master who can fight with a set of powerful weapons that are virtually impossible to find. Earthbound really was a fantastic game. Quirky gems standing out even among the numerous other great RPGs for the Super NES such as Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, and Final Fantasy III. The game is a colorful, creative aesthetic full of diverse venues from cities and towns to savage jungles occupied by dinosaurs to the far reaches of the future. It also has a catchy, memorable soundtrack composed by Keiichi Suzuki and Hirokazu Tanaka, who had also developed the music for the original Mother. Most of all, Itoi crafted a cleverly written, imaginative story full of charm and humor with many jokes, pop culture references, and great fourth-wall breaking moments. One minute you could be trying to find a machine to destroy a giant pencil blocking your path, and another minute you're teaching a subterranean race of little green men how to overcome their shyness, or meeting a guy who turned himself into a giant living dungeon. The game has a dedicated cult following and is widely recognized as one of the best games of the Super NES. However, if you have a Super Nintendo and are looking to get Earthbound, be prepared to pay a pretty penny, as just the cartridge can run into the $100 range. Meanwhile, the complete collection with strategy guide and scratch and sniff stickers can be found for as much as $900 online. I, for one, felt fortunate enough to get my copy of just the cartridge for just over $70. Meanwhile, for those who are okay with emulation, the ROM is easily accessible online, although don't ask me where to find it, just look it up for yourself. In the meantime, Japanese players and Westerners who know Japanese can play Earthbound for the Game Boy Advance, where it was re-released in a 2-pack with the original Mother in 2003, and was added to the Japanese version of Nintendo's Wii U Virtual Console in March of 2013. Over the years, Nintendo has occasionally teased the possibility of releasing Earthbound stateside. In the weeks leading up to the release of Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the Wii, Nintendo showed Earthbound as one of the masterpieces games available as a demo in Brawl. In 2008, Earthbound received a rating from the Electronic Software Ratings Board, the American ratings board of the video game industry, adding fuel to rumors of a forthcoming release. However, Earthbound was conspicuous for its absence from Brawl, and the ESRB listing did not result in any release. So why no Earthbound? Aside from some sort of anti-Mother conspiracy, the most popular explanation behind Nintendo's hitherto lack of interest in re-releasing Earthbound in the West involves copyright law, namely that Suzuki and Tanaka's soundtrack to Mother 2 has several songs that bear striking resemblance to pop songs by numerous artists, most notably the Beatles. While localizing Mother 2 for the West in the 1990s, Nintendo did subject the game to extensive editing for content and possible copyright infringement. One of the noteworthy examples was Nintendo of America's decision to change the name of a spaceship whose initial name too closely resembled a certain Star Wars character. However, the fact that Earthbound had an initial release at all has led some to wonder why Nintendo could not just bring it back in the West. Whether the concerns over copyright were valid, it did not deter fans of the series from petitioning for Earthbound's release. Following the launch of the Wii U, Western Earthbound fans began flooding the Wii U's Miiverse, calling for Nintendo to finally re-release Earthbound, a call that was ultimately answered during the April 17, 2013 edition of Nintendo Direct, when Satoru Iwata announced the game would appear on the Virtual Console at some future date that is yet to be announced. For now, however, it seems the only game Mother 2 fans can play is the waiting game, a game they've become all too familiar with. Speaking of waiting, next time we'll wrap up the series with a look at Mother 3, a game that was in development for 9 years. Thanks for watching. See you soon.